So what exactly is a computer network? I mean, we throw that term around all the time, right? But to really truly get it, you got to go back in time. Seriously. Understanding the world before networks, that's the secret sauce to understanding our entire digital world today. So let's start right there, at square one.
Okay, so I want you to picture something. It's, say, the 1980s. You're at your desk, you've got this brand new computer, but it's an island. It's totally isolated. No internet, no email, definitely no cloud. You've just finished this big report, and your coworker, who's literally just across the office, needs a copy. How do you do it? The answer? Well, it's pretty low-tech, to say the least.
You'd fire up the good old SneakerNet. And yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. You'd copy your file onto a floppy disk, remember those, pop it out, put on your sneakers, and literally walk it over to their desk. That was high-tech data sharing back then. Inefficient? Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's where this whole story really kicks off.
Yeah, this was basically the age of isolation for computers. Let's dive a little deeper into what that disconnected world actually felt like, when every machine was its own little digital island.
And the contrast here, it's everything. Think about it. In that standalone world, sharing was a crawl. Every single computer needed its own super expensive printer, and real-time collaboration, total science fiction. Now, you fast forward to our networked world today, sharing is instant, we all share one printer, everything's centralized. It is a completely different universe, night and day.
Here's a good way to think about it. Imagine a little village with 5 houses. Now, each house has its own well for water, its own generator for power. I mean, they're self-sufficient, sure, but they are completely cut off from each other. There are no roads, no way to share anything. You can't even pop over to your neighbor's place for a chat. That, right there, that's a perfect picture of what early computing was like.
So you can probably see where this is going. This whole model, it just wasn't sustainable. It couldn't last. As businesses got bigger and tech got more advanced, this isolation stopped being just an annoyance and turned into a massive, business-killing problem. Something had to give. This was the breaking point.
And that breaking point really boiled down to 2 simple things: cost and scale. Just think about an office. If you had 10 employees, guess what? You needed 10 printers. That's 10 times the cost, 10 times the ink, 10 times the headache when one breaks. It couldn't scale up. It was a dead end.
And this wasn't just about printers. This had huge real-world consequences. Take a bank in the 90s. Without a network, all your account information was stuck, physically stored at your home branch. So if you were on vacation in another city and tried to get cash, too bad. They had no idea who you were or how much money you had. You were just locked out. Business growth was literally hitting a brick wall because of this lack of connection.
So, faced with these impossible walls, we had to find a solution. We had to build connections. We needed to pave some digital roads between all those isolated houses. And that was the birth of the network.
All right, so here's the official definition. At its core, a network is just a group of devices that are connected together. Simple, right? But the 2 most important parts of that definition are to share resources and using defined rules. See, it's not just about randomly plugging cables in. It's about connecting things with a purpose, with a structure.
Probably the absolute best way to get your head around this is the road system analogy. It's perfect. So the houses in our village, those are your computers, your printer, your phone. The roads connecting them, those are the cables or the Wi-Fi signals. The cars and trucks driving on those roads, that's all your data, zipping back and forth. And, this is the most important part, the traffic rules, stop signs, speed limits, which side of the road to drive on, those are the network protocols. They're what keep everything from crashing into a giant digital traffic jam.
And really, the takeaway is that simple. If you don't have roads, nobody's going anywhere. If you don't have a network, there's no communication. It's that fundamental. It's the foundation for everything we do with tech today.
So every single network, from the tiniest to the biggest, is built from just 3 basic pieces. You've got the node, that's any device like your laptop. You've got the link, that's the connection, the road. And you've got the protocol. Those are the traffic rules. Node, link, protocol. That's it. That's the whole foundation right there.
Okay, so for this last part, let's pull all of this together. And while we're at it, let's bust a few common myths that seem to trip a lot of people up when they're first digging into this stuff.
So, have you ever wondered how a message actually gets from A to B? Well, on a really basic level, here's what happens. Your computer creates some data, like an email. Then it converts that data into a signal and shoots it out across the link, the road. On the other end, another device catches that signal and translates it back into the email you sent. It's like a super fast 5-step digital journey.
All right, myth number 1. The internet is a network.
Now, this one's kind of true, but it's not the whole picture. It's way more accurate to say the internet isn't just a network, it's the biggest network. It's actually a global network of other networks, all connected together. A network of networks.
Okay, myth number 2. A lot of people think network and Wi-Fi mean the same thing. Nope, that's not quite right. Wi-Fi is just one kind of connection. Let's go back to our road analogy. Think of your classic wired cable as a physical highway made of asphalt. Wi-Fi is more like the invisible flight paths in the sky. They're different, but they both get your data where it needs to go. And our last myth, this is a really big one, that you absolutely need the internet to have a network. And that is just false. Remember our core definition? If you take 2 computers, connect them with one cable, and they can share a file between them, bam, that is a network. That's it. It doesn't have to be connected to anything else on the planet. It's just a tiny, self-contained digital village with a single road.
So we've seen that networks are basically these digital road systems. And just like real roads, they have traffic rules, protocols that keep everything flowing smoothly. Which leaves us with one last kind of critical question to chew on. In this whole world of digital roads that we've built, what happens when someone, or something, decides to just ignore the rules of the road?